So you've identified a block in your life, a limiting pattern, something that, I don't know, you might have a goal, and no matter what you do, something happens that you can never achieve it. Maybe it has to do with earning more money, or finding a partner, or losing weight, and having a healthier lifestyle. Usually the desires or wants that us humans have to do with one of these categories. But anyhow, you probably, you want to achieve something, and something is happening that you cannot achieve it. And you have probably tried using willpower for it. You might have, I don't know, finally subscribed to that food delivery program, or you have promised yourself that in this date you're going to download that dating app. I don't know. And the issue with willpower, I mean, willpower is really useful for many things. It's amazing. But it's not a long-term sustainable solution, because, I mean, imagine if you have to constantly push, your way through life. At some point it becomes really difficult, heavy, maybe not even enjoyable. And also, I mean, some of the things that we're pushing through, we might not even be aware of them. So, it's really good to have it in doses, and it's very effective for some things and for some people. But I feel that it's much more, I don't know, like practical and attainable to understand what is going on that's making me really dread, this process, and clean that, so eventually I can, make the choices more willingly or even happily. Instead of, having to set the alarm in the morning and cry, because I don't really want to go, but I promised myself that I was going to go to the gym, and if I don't achieve it, I feel so guilty. That is much more difficult than simply waking up and say, oh, yay, I have to go to the gym today. I don't know. And so I want to share with you in this video 2 things that you can do to start kind of identifying what are these things that are preventing you from achieving the goals. And also kind of like, why, I mean, having the vision, for these things. And essentially these 2 practices or exercises are identifying the secondary gains and cleaning the negators, or cleaning, let's say, the negative associations that we might have with a certain theme. So for this, I first have to tell you about the subconscious. And the subconscious is kind of like the bridge between the unconscious and the unconscious. It's, the unconscious and the conscious. It's kind of like the bouncer. It's, because it filters things out. And it is in the subconscious where we essentially like store the stories, the narratives, the programmings that we have acquired throughout our lives. Usually through the environment, our families, our culture, the school that we attended to, when we were kids, etc. And the thing with these stories is that they probably helped you at a certain point in your life, either to survive something or even to achieve really great things. You can look at it kind of as if you have a CV that you drafted, 10, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. And you drafted it for a specific purpose. Maybe it was for getting into grad school, or to, get your first job. But now, 5, 10 years later, that same CV is not really, useful or applicable if you want to apply for a senior job or whatever. But essentially it's that. So what we want to do is update those stories or narratives. But how do we know which ones we want to update? Well, your blocks and patterns are a really great signal. Essentially, our unconscious is constantly sending us things. I mean, we're constantly resonating with things that we are ready to resolve, integrate, break from. So if you find yourself, for instance, in the 3rd breakup, and you say, I'm never going to go through this again, that's probably you identifying, okay, there's something here that is no longer working for me, and now I have to do something about it. So, secondary gains. The secondary gains are essentially the benefits that you're getting from remaining in that place. So I'll give you 3 examples. If your goal is to lose weight, a secondary gain that you might find is that, Well, I've been part of this group of friends for 15 years, and the thing that we do is go to this fast food restaurant and talk about our love of food, and maybe my other friends are also overweight. So the secondary gain that I might be getting in this situation is that I belong to a group of people. I am part of a community. And I feel that if I lose weight or have a healthy lifestyle, I will, I will lose that. Usually the secondary gains, and also the associations have to do with our identity and a fear of losing ourselves. A fear of losing something that identity has given us so far. Maybe the secondary gain for not having more money is that I don't have to deal with all the responsibilities that I think come with having more money. Or if I don't have more money, I don't have to deal with the emotions of guilt for not wanting to give that extra money to this family member who's struggling. If if my goal is to have a partner, maybe the secondary gain that I have by not having a partner is that I really dread discussions and arguments. So if I don't have a partner, I don't have to deal with that. Or maybe I dread being vulnerable and feeling judged. If I don't have a partner, I don't have to expose myself to that. So essentially, you get the point. The secondary gains are the benefits that you feel that you're getting by remaining in this place. And identifying the secondary gains is going to, one, give you a very clear map of the things that are, preventing you from it, so you can actually do something about it. But it will also demystify some of them. So you might find that some of these secondary gains are, they're not as big as you actually thought. Or even just, by putting them out there, by naming them, by writing them down, they're going to lose weight. They're going to lose kind of like the density that they had. And maybe some of them dissolve just then and there by simply naming them and bringing them to your awareness. So that's a very useful thing to do. Usually this is what I do first, and then I do kind of like a session of cleaning the negators. And the negators are essentially like the negative associations that you have with that particular thing. So what you do is you find a phrase that has to do with your goal. So something like I truly enjoy going to the gym. Or I'm very happy in a loving relationship, or money flows easily into my life. I don't know, something that makes sense to you. It's a short phrase in positive. So instead of saying, I don't have a problem with money coming into my life, we say, money comes easily into my life, something like that. And in present tense. So once you have that phrase that means something to you, you start writing. Fast writing, because we want to kind of hijack the judgment part, but we also want to remain aware. So you write everything that comes, and things like, oh no, but people with money are they're bad people, or they're not virtuous, because I grew up in a culture where being poor was virtuous and having money wasn't. Or I don't know, no, but being rich is not for me. Nobody in my family is rich. Or no, I'm never going to find a partner because I'm super flawed. Anything that comes. You just write it and write it and write it. And once you're done with that, you go back and read the phrase. And if the phrase still feels sticky, kind of like, and you even go like, yeah, right, you continue writing, and you keep writing everything that comes. And you repeat this process until when you read that phrase, it feels like something that could fit with you. It's no longer like, but it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I could see this happening, or I could see this in my life. And you can do this, these exercises for any topic essentially. And I'll remind you also that growth is a process. So one of the most important parts for dissolving these, or integrating, or breaking through these limiting things is becoming aware of them. And by becoming aware of them, one, you might demystify it and realize that it's not so scary as it seemed. And two, you might find that they're very simple, or even if they're not simple, but there are solutions for resolving that particular thing. So yeah, that's it. I hope it helps. And yeah, if you resonated with this and you want to subscribe to my channel, that'd be really amazing. It helps me out a lot now that I'm just starting. I'll keep making these videos periodically, and I'd love to hear if you try these techniques or if you have a different one that is useful to you in breaking from limiting patterns or blocks. It'd be great to hear.